everybody. All right, we are on, I think this is part 6, and this should be the last part. It might be in a couple videos, but it should be the last part. So this is where we were last time. I've got to move my light just a minute. Let me add a little more light to the situation. Okay, so this is where we were. We got our our book put together, and I went out around the edges. All the edges that I've been doing, I've been using the Distress Ink, the pumice stone, which is kind of closest to the base color pages that I've been using. So that's kind of helping to pull everything together. The only place I really not sure I like it is right here on the edge, but you know, I'm living with it. But I did a little bit, and I might go a little heavier later on, but I went all around the book. So what we're going to do is, I got to tell you, there's a few more things that I've chosen to work with. You're going to need your hot glue gun for this. You're going to need something that you're going to like on the show, that will show on the front of the book, and that's going to tie in our photo pages on the front cover, inside front cover. You're going to need whatever pieces you're going to use for your closure. Now you can do a ribbon closure, you can do any kind of closure you want. I have chosen this is one of Tim Holt's clock keys, and I believe these are his clock faces. These rings that I've got here, I just have in my stash. I could not tell you where they came from. Don't have a clue. This is a Tim Holtz clip. Comes with the chain on it, and then this is a Tim Holtz number. I believe it's Tim Holtz. If not, it's Chick something, or I can't remember, but I believe this is Tim Holtz. Again, this is all stuff that I've had in my stash. So this is my closure. This is going to hook around this. This is going on the front cover. This is going to go on the front cover. You're also going to need some eyelets. You're going to need 3 of them this size, and you could actually use this size for this as well, but I have the wider ones, and they're close in color, but I like the wider ones for this. Is going to go through that. This eyelet is going to be on the back of the book that this is going to go through, and the other 2 of these are used on this, which I went ahead and did for time's sake, to hold these together. So this is actually a put together book. If you were going to, and in this project you can, if you wanted to put another, this is 5 pages, if you wanted to put another 5 pages together, I would say that this is probably the max for these. These are 3/16 inch hold ones, that I would then just do another 5 and make this is called a signature, and make another signature, and then you can, you'll use your twine, and you'll just bind both of those together in the space. Anyway, you'll need a couple paper clips. You'll need some magnets, and I'm going to use my Xyron, my little Xyron thing for the clock face, so that I can put that on. Again, the hot glue, a ruler. I think that covers the majority of the things we're going to be using. We're going to be doing a lot of assembly stuff today. So, the next thing I'm going to go over is all of the, oh, that was good. All of the trying to get this in here. All of the cut pieces for the different elements that we're using today. So I already took two 12 by 12 sheets of paper, and connected them together using a 1/2-inch piece of score tape, and just put it on one edge, lined up the other piece on top, and connected them together. So this makes our inside cover. This measures 9 3/8 because if you remember, I am 9 1/2 this way on the cover, the actual book. So this is 9 3/8, and then this is 22 7/8. You might find that you need to make this a little different or a lot different, but you know, you just measure you take 1/8 of an inch off of here, and you take 1/8 of an inch off of here, so, or I mean 1/4 of an inch, so it's 1/8 on each side. All right. Okay, so there's that piece. I have done all of my edges. Then we have, well, let me leave this here so I can show you. Then we have a inside flap that's going to go on. This is the inside front cover. This inside flap is going to attach underneath the cover and open up, and this is where we're putting this. And then it's going to have magnets. Of course, this is going to be centered, but then it's going to have magnets. And how I'm doing that is I have these pieces here, which are tin cap discs. Get them at Home Depot, Lowe's. They're called tin cap discs. These are from Grip Right. I think these were $2 or $3, and there's like a pound of them. I think there's like 200 in here or something. So they're great because the magnets stick to them puppies, and you have a large surface that if this page grows a little bit, the magnet is still going to work on you know, on this entire area. So as it grows and moves, you still have a large area for that magnet to grab a hold of. So this is going to go to the inside of this, and this will be magnetized to help hold all those pages together. And again, I've gone over all of the edges, and then I'm going to have another little interaction where this is going to be here, and then there's going to be a flap over the top of it. So you'll be able to flip this up, and these are going to have Velcro closures, and you're going to be able to flip this open and then see your book. But yet this will keep it all nice and neat and tidy. All right? So having explained all that to you, now we have to figure out how to get all of the components into the book. And there's a lot of steps you have to do before you glue your inside cover down. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this out of here. Oh, I'm sorry, size-wise. Okay, so this was 9 3/8 by 22 7/8. This is 11 1/2 by 8 3/4, and you're going to score on the 11 1/2 side at 8 1/2 and 8 5/8. Okay, the mat is 8 1/4 by 8 1/2, and right now these discs are just put down with repositional glue. The top flaps measure 6 3/8 by 9, and you're going to score in 1/2 inch. And I rounded my corners on the bottom, but you're just going to score in 1/2 inch. And then the mat itself is 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, and that way the little tips will hang out the round edges, but it'll be, you know, it'll be like this, but cute. Okay, and then that's it to that. Now I can go ahead and assemble these two pieces, and that way when we go to grab them, they will be out of the way. And I'm going to put some score tape on them, and I'm going to put it on the inside. Come on. And as I cut it off, I'm going to angle my edges just a little bit. Get it down to that score line. And I'm going to angle this edge just a little bit. You want to try and make these as close to the same as possible. Alright, so there's that. Pull that off. Okay. And then I'm just going to take this off. Center this on my piece and get it right up to the fold mark, but not over it. Make sure it's working all the way around here. And I'm just going to fold that over. And now this entire piece will get glued down to the main flap. Okay, so there's that. So that's ready for whenever we're ready for it. The next thing I'm going to do is glue this to the inside of my main flap. Pull this out of here. Now, you never want to put glue between where your magnet and your either magnet to magnet or magnet to metal. You never want to put glue because it does decrease the ability of that magnet to hold on. So I am going to, this is the side, because this is going to go this way. This is the side that is going to attach to the magnet. So I can put glue all over this and around here and put it on, okay? And it right now it just has a little bit of removable sticky on there, and that is it's not going to bother it. It's just a titch enough to hold these in place. All right, and I'm going to use my wet glue for this. Well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of score tape and tape across these just to give it, I don't want it to go over the edge, just to give it a little added security, and it'll also hold it while we're gluing everything else down. Just going to help give it that much more security, and it's not going to be pulling away from the page. Go ahead and pull this up. Okay, so there we go. Now, with this, you want to make sure that you are getting glue, whoops, probably best not to start there, that you are getting glue all the way around the edges really well. And you're going to get glue on the discs themselves. I'm just putting the glue where I don't have the sticky tape. Oops. Alright. Make sure you're getting the discs on the inside edge. And remember now, you've got that sticky tape on there. So once you put that down, you're done. So get it lined up really well first. And that looks pretty good from this angle anyway. And then rub it down. Oh shoot, my cloth. This is just a baby wipe. But it's a dry baby wipe, not a wet one. You just want to make sure that you really get those discs and the edge of this paper down. And just make sure everything's nice and flat. Not getting that glue drying in the zigzags that you made on the paper. It's not quite perfect, but looks pretty darn good. Okay. Alright, and you can just barely see those discs in there. They're so thin, they just really work. Had I maybe not put them quite at the edge, you would not see them, but since it's glued down right at the edge, that didn't get any glue on there right there, and it's bubbling up just a smidge. So make sure you put enough glue around the paper, around those discs, so it really gets them well. Okay, good. All right, so we've got that part. Now we're going to move on and start some assemblage here. Let me get this pulled out of the way. I really didn't need it, but I thought I'd, you know, just so you knew I was scoring. Okay, visuals. We all love visuals. Okay, I also did some decorative pages that, decorative edges that we're going to put on the pages, so we'll go over that in a little while. All right, I made myself some notes here because there's just so much going on. Let me get my book laid out here again for you. And this is our cover. Lays right about like that. Make sure I'm in frame as much as possible. Let me move my hot glue gun here. Yeah, sorry about the walls of this being in here, but I wanted it to be as wide as I could get it in order to get the book on here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the cover page on the book like we're going to adhere it. Then we're going to flip, well not flip, but lift this up and place. Now remember, this is the one that has the little 1/8 inch gusset. So it's got a little gusset to it. So we want to make sure that we're setting it up so it doesn't go to the second gusset, it just goes to the first gusset. We're going to center it. I'm going to have to stand up and make sure I've got it centered. Yes, I'm going to center it, and then I'm taking my paper clips and I'm just going to clip these on so that I can hold them. Excuse me, my allergies are really acting up today. So that I can hold those in place. Now we're going to flip the cover over. Now I have 3 magnets here, which are grabbing everything. I have 3 magnets, and I have taken a piece of red line tape to each one of the magnets so that after we get them placed, and we're just going to place them down on the metal pieces, and I want to find that metal piece, and I want to kind of get this side but center, so that as the photo album, if you want to add more pages, you will totally be able to do that the way we're going to insert it into the book. But as you make it grow, that this is still going to have room for that flap to go over everything but yet still catch. So if you kind of really get it in that center, I gotta figure out. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Once you figure out the one, you can just line up the other ones. So if you have to manipulate through the page, because like I said, these are thin. They're very strong, but they're thin. So there is my center. Let's see. Oh my goodness, where are you? Okay. Center. Okay, so there's the centers of those. So now what I'm going to do is take this red line tape off. Now these did have some glue pieces on them, but eventually the paper starts coming off of them, and then they're not quite as sticky as they used to be. So that's why I'm just helping it out with some of this red line tape. So there's that. Come on. I'm trying to get this off without moving it. There's the one thing with this red line tape is it is got what do you call that stuff? Static cling. Okay, so there's that. Let go. And now what we're going to do is flip this back over. Get it set up where you're going to want your cover to be. Make sure it looks good on this side. And then push down. Okay, now you can take these off. Take this off. And take this off. And there you have your magnets set up on your book. Perfect. Okay, so that's done. So now the next step, let's see, we've got that. We're going to find the eyelet hole for the back part of my book closure. Okay, this, you have to at least make sure it is going to be the length of your spine so that your book can at least grow that much. It will have a bit more because of the added part of this. If it ever goes past that, there can be chain put on there, but you want it to at least be the length of your spine, and this has got a good bit more than that, so it will be able to expand even beyond the spine size. What you're going to do is, if you have a centering ruler, it does make it easier, but it's not necessarily, I mean, you can do it without the centering ruler as well. But I have already done this. It's 1 1/4 inches on both sides. I don't know if you can see this side. Let me move it up a little bit. But there's 1 1/4 inches on this side and 1 1/4 inches on this side. And then there's my center. And I already made a mark on it, but you would just take a point. Now I laid this down as well to make sure that I had the edge of my eyelet going to lay on the, be actually on the book, but I need it to be as close to the edge of the book as possible. I didn't want it coming out the side of the book. I wanted it to be totally enclosed. So I looked down in there and made my mark accordingly. So now we're going to bring out the Big Daddy, and this is the smaller hole, so it's going to be going on the 1/8 Just flip this down. I've got it on eyelet setting right now. I always have a little bit of a hassle getting that flipped. Okay, now it's on the 1/8, which means that my 1/8 hole is ready to make a hole. So I'm going to put my book in there, line up where I'm making my hole. And I'm sorry I can't do all of this and show it to you, but I'll show you the hole in just a second. You just kind of line it up on the mark you made. That needs to go in just a smidge more. Okay. Once you made it, you've made it. So I just want to make sure I'm not getting that off the edge, but that it's going to be big enough, close enough that everything's going to work. Okay. So there's my hole. And I'm just going to double check. Whoops. I might have to use the larger hole. Let me see. No, this one's going to be, I believe. Huh. That is not going to fit in there. Okay, so make the larger hole. I didn't want to have to make the larger hole, but I guess I'm going to have to make the larger hole. Okay, so now I'm going to be very careful to not go any closer. Let's get this way. That is just going to be very large. Am I sure? Sorry, guys. I just was, okay. No, it's the larger hole. Can't make it what it's not. Alright, so I'm not going to go any closer to the edge. Okay. Now, get this out of the way. This is going to go in here. And it's not going to go over the edge of my book. I'll show it to you as soon as I get it done. So now I'm going to put it back on the setting, and I have it right now. I have it on the widest for the biggest one, and I really do want to get it nice and flat. So I'm going to leave it on that one. I'm going to have to flip my book around. Place the thing in the hole there. Got it all set up, and push all the way down. Make sure you push it all the way down or it just will not set. And there it is. And there it is. And that is going to be covered, if not all, at least the majority of it will be covered with the piece now. And that is definitely going to be wide enough to fit that in. Yay! So, can I do this? No. I guess you're also going to need some pliers if you choose to make this kind of binding. Of course, all I can find are cutters. This will work. The only thing I could pull out were cutters here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attach this. And I'm just using these little jobbies because they just need to grab hold of it. Flip it open. Run it through. Unless, of course, I didn't flip it open quite wide enough, which I guess I did not. I think I can squeeze it a little bit more with my... Run it through here. There we go. And then I think I'm just going to use the book, and I'm just going to close that back up again. So there is the eyelet and the chain coming off the eyelet. And that's in the center of my book, in the back. And that's going to be what we're going to use as the closure. Okay, so there's that. Okay, get this. Let me get these out of the way really quickly. Here we go. All right, so now, oh, I hope I didn't get that on my book. No. I'll take this hot glue off of here. I have a love-hate relationship with hot glue. Okay. Now we're going to work on the front part of the closure. I don't need these paper clips anymore as well. I'm sorry, I have such a small workspace that if I don't get this stuff put away as I go, it's just a hassle. Okay, so now we're going to work on this. I'm going to pull back out the book. Now the book is going to be centered on the page. And then I have to, and if you want, you can, you can pull this out, stick it in there, get an idea of where it's going to set up on the page, and then you'll have kind of where that's going to go. So there's the holes that we're going to need, but we're not punching those yet because we have to punch through on the other side through the flap, the back cover and the main flap. So we're not punching these holes yet, but what I want from this is to get my center, which, if you didn't have this piece, this is the center, so it really makes it easy. But if you wanted to get your center of your holes to put the, this is where my clock face and my clock key are going to go, where the chain is going to go around it. Okay, so we have the center right here, and I want this to be in line with these holes. And in just a little bit, okay? So I'm going to stick my thumb right in the center and move it over a little bit, move this and go down. And I'm going to make a mark, which I did make a mark, but it looks like that's off a little bit. I will double check that I am actually in the center, going this way and this way. So it was 1 1/4 on both sides, and that is still not centered, but probably because I had the page off. Let's see. Visually, I can't see both unless I stick my head up. Yeah, and then that looks pretty even, but visually it's so much harder when you're at this angle to get this figured out. So, yeah, I'm going to make this hole right there. Okay, so there we go. Now that is going to be, this would make so much more sense if I had a finished one to show you, but I don't. So that's going to be where the hole's going, and that's going to work out perfectly, that this is not going to hang over the edge. And I knew that that's why I needed to move it over a little bit. Okay. One thing I'm going to do is run this through my Xyron. Just push it in there. Get it caught up in there. And I believe this is not too wide to fit through the mechanism, and it's not. I've done a lot of things this way. I love my little machine. Thank you, Laurel. That was one of my, I don't know, Christmas or birthday. I think it was Christmas. All right. Just running this around here so that the glue is not around anything but the edge. Okay, and peel this off, and we'll have that ready to go when we're ready to go. So there's that piece. Okay, so now I'm going to make my hole. Now what's going in that hole is this screw that is, dag nabbit, and I didn't think I'd need a screwdriver. Sorry guys, I thought I was like all totally ready, and okay, let's see if this is my favorite little thing. It is this little screwdriver kit. I got it at a garage sale. It's a Craftsman. I think it was some little free gift at some point. I don't know, but you just slide that in there and lock it down. And it does pretty much all the jobs I need it to do. Working with jewelry, and there's a little pick and a Phillips head and flat head. So yeah, I really like it, and so just grabbing that. Okay, so this hole, I'm thinking, oops, let me put this on the 8th here. Come on. I don't know if I'm supposed to be picking this up or pushing it or pulling it or what. It just does not want to really, I don't want to damage it, but I threw away my instructions a while ago. Yeah, I know how it works. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go with the smaller hole first. Get my little screwdriver kit out of the way here. But I will need it again to tighten it up. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this hole. And make sure I'm centered on there. Oh, I just love this thing. It's totally worth the money. 50% off coupon at Michael's. I mean, you can get this for a dream. 40% off, 50% off. It goes through anything, and if I wanted to put a hole over here, I can. It's just a fabulous tool. I like it. The hand tool, I had one of those. I think I gave it away when I got this. It's fabulous, but it will not go inside the center of the page. And sometimes you get things done like this, and I'll go, oh my gosh, I want to put something here, and I want a hole. You'd just be out of luck. Okay, so we're at 38 minutes. So I am going to put my screw through here. Perfect. Oops. Put my screw through here. Hold on to it. Put it down. I'm going to take this off with the sticky. Run it through the screw and make sure that I've got my 12 and my 6 correct. Come on. Oh, am I going to have to screw it down? Too funny. There we go. Just bang on it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to put on my little clock key. And before I get it too tight, I thought I would, let's see, loosen it up and pull it out a little bit. I thought I might take a little bit of glue and glue it just to give it, I don't want that there, just to give it a little bit more of a hold, and then tighten this down. It's nice and snug. But I do want it, yeah, good, it's ending up the right way. And I don't want all of this on here, so I'm going to rub it off. If you have one of these glue squares, I don't remember what it's called, but it is worth, oh, I did not just do that, did I? It is worth its weight. Worth its weight. It will take glue off just about anything. Not necessarily hot glue. It just takes a bit of work, but okay. So now I've got that hot glue on there. I feel a lot better about that. There we go. So there, that is done. We've got our magnets in. We've got this piece in. We've got this piece in. So now we're going to go ahead and glue down our cover. And I'm at 41 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is wait for this, and I'm going to start another video. Alright guys, because I don't like them much past 30 minutes anyway. I will be back in just a minute. Bye!